Hey everyone, this is Joey up here, and welcome to another episode of Forge in Fire. Now, this is going to be a very, very special edition of our program today because I'm going to invite one of our students who recently have gone through a very major ordeal of battling COVID-19 and survived, lived to tell the tale. So I thought it would be, good if I can invite him to be part of this program to share his experience, how he has gone through that, the struggles, both internal and external, and more importantly, what we can learn from this entire episode and what we need to do, as individuals, maybe through metaphysics, or even if not through metaphysics, what we can do to help other people around us, because in every situation, it's not just about us, it's also about the people that are around us, because when we are down ourselves, there would be people who love us, who care for us, and how would they feel in such a situation? So the person that I would like to invite out to join me today is Raymond Koh, and he's from Singapore. And quite recently, last month, he's gone through this ordeal. Okay, and a lot of people cannot imagine how he must have felt in that so-called dire situation. And of course, through a lot of internal willpower and strength, he's able to go through this, and he's going to share with us today on his experiences. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Raymond Koh. Hey, Raymond, how are you?
I'm fine. Hi,
Hi,
Doctor.
Raymond. All right. Right. I'm so glad you're here with us, and I read your story in the Straits Times. I've heard about it from other students as well, from our team. First of all, I'm very glad that you are with us today. It must have been hell that you have gone through. How does it
Thank you, thank
feel?
you.
How does
Uh,
how does it feel
uh,
to have gone through? Tell us how this. Tell us how it started. Let's start from the beginning.
well, actually, beginning somewhere in March the first itself, I started to have fever,
Mm,
and because it's just fever, and I thought, I took a Panadol and then just went back to sleep. And after that itself, I decided on Monday I'll just go and see a doctor.
right.
So on Monday morning, when I start to see a doctor itself, and it's just fever with no cough and no
Mm,
sore throat, nothing. So I also
right.
dismissed the idea that it's going to be COVID.
And
But
you haven't traveled
on
anywhere at that time. What the thing is this: you have not traveled anywhere specifically.
no, I have not. I have not traveled anywhere. For the last 14 days when I got this itself, and even the whole month of February, I was in Singapore.
Right.
And none of my friends or even colleagues actually have any of those symptoms of a COVID-19 itself.
Right.
So that's why very puzzling, and it's to me itself is, I shouldn't get it because
Right.
none of the conditions that fulfill the COVID-19's symptoms.
Right.
And of course, I'm only having fever. I don't even have a sore throat or cough. So I dispersed the thing about COVID.
Right. Was it a
And
high fever you're getting?
by
Is it a high
Wednesday,
fever at the time? Was it high fever like
it
30?
was about 38,
Right.
38.3, 38.6.
Right. On and off.
That is yes, on and off. And
Mm.
when I took the Panadol itself, actually went down to 37.6, and then after that, it go back to 38.6 again.
Right.
So the fever range within that itself. And because it's only 1 day, 2 days, and I understand that normally for normal fevers, it can actually last up to 4 days.
Right.
So on the fourth day, morning, the fever is still there. And by then itself, I went back to see a doctor. But strangely enough, when I reached the clinic and the doctor took my temperature, it
Mm.
was 37.
Right.
So it's normal. So I
Normal.
thought that, oh, okay. And doctor says that, oh, okay, you can go back and rest, and then you recover by, maybe these 2 days. So
Mm.
I say, fine, okay, I will just go back and rest.
Mm.
So by the time I reach home in late afternoon, about 4 p.m., the
Mm.
fever start to go back to 37.6.
Right.
And I actually wanted to have the urge to bring back the thermometer back to the doctor clinic and ask the doctor if, if are we sharing the same, is the thermometer the same, using the same thermometer?
Right.
But I decided no, I will just stay at home.
Mm.
And I took the Panadol itself, and with the faith that okay, the fever will subside. And by the time on Saturday, I find that something is wrong. So and I start to have body aching.
Mm.
And the first thought that I have, and with body aching itself, could be dengue was the one, because recently my area itself there was some was dengue cases,
Right. A lot of dengue
and
cases. Mm.
yes, and it just recently brought down to green, but probably before that, 1 week before, it was red.
Right.
So I thought, oh, okay, could be dengue, and I'm already feel quite upset it's dengue. But okay, telling myself, oh, just dengue, fine, as long as it's not COVID.
Dengue is very serious, right?
Yeah,
Even
I up to now I have not experienced dengue, but I heard from them it's worse.
right.
Um, so on Saturday night, decided that okay, I need to go and see a doctor. So by Sunday morning, I passed the time of seeing the same clinic doctor. Uh, I decided to go to the branch in another area. It's the same clinic name but different branch.
Okay.
So I decided, okay. So I went there about late
And this was how many
before
days?
their
How
closing.
many days after the first day of fever?
It was about 7 days. That Sunday is a 7 day.
Wow. So it took you
Yeah.
7 days before you went for a second checkup.
That was the second one was in on Thursday itself.
Oh, so this is the third time you went. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So when I went to the doctor checked and say, your lungs is fine.
Right.
Maybe there is a little bit of not clear in
Okay.
terms of the lungs breathing. So
Okay.
he said, okay, please safe, I will call ambulance. But
Mm.
I don't think there's anything to cause for alarm. So
Right.
I believe him and says, okay, fine,
Mm.
So when the ambulance arrived and then they asked me, do you have cough? Do you have a sore throat? My answer to them is no, and answer the same three questions.
Mm.
Whether are you traveling in the next 14 the past 14 days?
Right.
So
So questions are yeah.
so yeah. Then after that itself, the paramedics are very they don't believe it. They say, okay, if that's the case, like unlikely that you're going to have COVID. But never
Mm.
mind, I'll bring to the hospital first. So they
Right.
send me to hospital, but instead of sending me to the our common hospital, that the infectious disease center at
Right.
Tan Tock Seng, they sent me to somewhere near my house, that hospital itself, which is called the Sengkang Hospital.
Okay.
And once I was there, they start to put me into X-ray of my
Right.
chest,
Yeah.
and they discover that there's some patches in my chest,
Right. So it's through
which
X-ray
yeah.
they saw. Mm.
Yes, and through X-ray that they actually saw the patches, and then they say that the patches is not big, but please safe, we put you into isolation.
Right.
So that was by the time I started from Sunday 11 p.m. until Monday about 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Then they put me into isolation.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the time when by on the morning 9 a.m. they started to test me on swab test on my to see whether is there any pneumonia? Because the other thing is pneumonia that they
So
are concerned
at
of.
that time, most people don't
And
suspect it is COVID-19 lah, because it's not there's not a lot of people having it at that time, right?
yes, because they thought that I should have sore throat and cough, which I told them I do not have at all. And they check
Right.
my throat and says that yeah, you actually your throats are fine.
Mm.
So and then uh after that in the afternoon they start doing the test for me, and the first test result came in the Monday evening.
Right.
They actually did three tests. So the first test that came back itself was okay, it was negative.
Right.
Says that and there's no virus, there's no disease, or there's no bacteria,
Okay.
and there's no dengue.
Right. So it
So
was.
I was like,
Mm.
so when they say there's no dengue, I was like, okay, then could be pneumonia.
Right.
Okay, and Tuesday morning the doctor came in and says that, oh, you are cleared for pneumonia itself. We're just
Right.
waiting for the last test, which is a COVID test. So of course, my first reaction was that, so two negative, the third one, could it be positive? Then
Right.
doctor says, no, you will never, it's not, it doesn't go this way. The third one could be also negative itself. Then my question to the doctor is, how do you explain my fever for the past 7 days? You
Right.
know,
Right.
then doctor says that, it could be viral infection, but it may not be,
Right. So this is how
COVID.
many
I said,
days is
oh,
it from
okay.
the first day of fever? This is a 10-day already, right?
That was the 10 day, yes, on the 10 day. That is a
Right.
Tuesday, and my fever is still there. In fact, it have not subsided yet. So after the doctor speak to me, he walked out. 20 minutes later, the doctor start calling me.
Right.
And the first thing that doctor says is that, oh, Mr. Koh, I need to inform you that you're tested positive for COVID.
Hmm.
And
Oh,
at the point of time, I was holding the phone because it's an isolation ward, so normally you'll call on the phone. So I was holding the phone. I was like,
wow.
what? Can you repeat again? He
Hmm.
says, oh, we tested, the swab came back, the result is positive.
Right. So your heart must
So
have stopped for a moment, huh?
yes, and I was very, very stunned because when I heard COVID itself, my question back to the doctor is that I got no cough, I
Hmm.
have no sore throat,
Right.
and I have no phlegm.
Right.
And yeah, and after that itself, in a later part in the afternoon, the doctor came in and says that, okay, he start talking to me, and then I can actually answer his questions, and without pausing or stopping. There's no shock, there's no breathlessness.
Right. So
And
those
the doctor is,
usual things we see about what people have in COVID-19 doesn't apply to you except for fever, lah, in
yes,
short.
except for
Right.
fever,
So there was
correct.
a sense of denial at that point that it can't be happening to you, right?
Yes,
Right.
yes. A big deal of denial on that itself, that it
So
should not happen
so
to me.
how long it took you to come to terms with this?
Uh, by the time I come back, it's probably about an hour, half an hour to an hour.
Well, before you accepted it. Like, so yeah, there's a question. Did you lose your taste and smell, sense of taste and smell?
No,
Not at
I
all.
still can smell. No, the reason why I know was because when they serve me breakfast, right, I can smell the fish, because it's cooked with fish and they puree the fish.
Mm.
I can smell the fish, so I was like, okay, that's fish. And at the point of time, I didn't know that loss of smell was one of
So
the
apparently,
criteria.
what I'm hearing is that you actually don't have most of those symptoms that people have described. People with COVID-19 actually has, you with the exception of fever, right?
Yes, yes,
Right. Right. So
yes.
there's a question I ask you. So when you come to terms with it, so you were until then you're still with your family members and even the doctors who were checking, looking at you the first 3 times, they didn't have all those equipment. Now they see like they're going to see. Do they have it
They
when
do. They do.
they do
They
it?
do. When they decided that I had patches on my X-ray during the Sunday
No,
night
I mean
itself, right?
before that, when you went to see a normal doctor at the time,
Oh no, they did not.
right?
They did not. But
Right.
because I have my mask, so I always put on my mask itself.
Right. So that's a
So
very important thing. You gotta have your mask on, just in case, right?
yes, correct. And at the point of time itself, the mask on was not a
Not
compulsory thing.
not compulsory yet,
Yeah,
right?
and there's a shortage of masks whether in Singapore or in Malaysia itself, and it's not easy to get a mask itself. So when I went there, I was only on mask on itself, and even though they offer me to say that, oh, okay, you may no need to wear a mask because they
Wow.
do not know what's the symptoms at the point of time itself.
Right. So at that
So
time
and
you met with so many people, right? I mean, I'm just asking a question here, like how easy is it for people to contract this? Because you have met the doctors and you were with your family members. So and I understand that they were also quarantined the moment you were tested positive, right? But
yes,
not
they
they
are.
didn't get they didn't contract the virus at all. They're very blessed,
No,
right? They
yes.
did.
In fact, I would say it's They did not. And in fact, even my close colleagues that have lunch with me itself did not
Mm,
get it at all.
mm. So this is not like what they described, like you're six, like just very nearby to someone and suddenly they will just contract, right? So it's not so, even you are with your family members, you met with the doctors who were just one layer, which is just the mask, and they didn't have any issues. So it's surprising that you got it, right?
Yes.
And
But this, I only got to know after, in fact, I only put down this burden after I discharged. But during the point of time itself, it's the same thing that you start thinking, will my colleagues get it? Will my family get it? Will my, children get it? And anybody who actually been in contact with me, will they get it or not? That is something that is keep going on to my mind itself.
it keeps going on in your mind over and over again, right? Because you're worried about your family, right? Not because they obviously spent 10 days,
Yes.
10 days taking care of you while you had fever.
Total of okay, for the first 5 days they taking care of me. When on Sunday when I go to the clinic myself, I actually tell them don't come with me. So since
Right.
then I'm actually in the hospital. Once I step into a hospital, they are not with me all the way till I discharge, because they are
Right.
not supposed to. They can't see me, and I was in the isolation ward.
Right. So
So effective,
prior
yeah,
to that, the 10 days you were having fever, right? You
yeah.
you were at home, right? Not you were at home with
Uh,
them.
yes, but I did my own isolation itself because I'm having fever.
Right.
So I told them
Okay.
that okay, I'll sleep into another room.
Mm.
And I think that also
That
helped
helped
in
a
the
lot.
way that yeah, that I had to not have a direct contact with them. Even for food itself, is they actually pack the normal soupy stuff for me, and then I will just take that soupy stuff. Uh,
Mm.
and there's no sharing of food, which is very
Right.
blessed.
So you did your own isolation and you did whatever prevention you could do at that time, lah, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah, because when we have fever within our family itself, we always do that. Is I will try to isolate ourselves first so that yeah.
Right. So when after then the treatment, right? When they discovered that you had the COVID-19, what sort of treatment did you put you under?
Okay, they start to give me some viral medication that can kill the virus itself. I didn't actually ask in detail, so because the fever only gone on the 13 13 day.
13 day. Okay.
Yes, one fever.
Right.
And the 13 day is the fever only then the fever actually went off. 13 or 14 day itself.
Right.
That, yeah, about there, the fever then went off. So
So
only when I get out of ICU, then the fever actually totally subside.
right. How many days in ICU again?
I was in ICU for 5 days.
5 days. Right.
5 days
Under
in ICU.
the ventilator, lah. That's what they're saying, that people are ICU's ventilator.
Yes, with a ventilator, and then tube to the nose, and then tube on the neck,
Mm,
and two tubes on the hand, one straight to the veins, and one tube for the drip.
right.
And total is about six tubes on hands, three tubes on hand, and three tubes on the upper head itself.
Oh, this must be extremely uncomfortable.
Uh, it is. In fact, I thought I wouldn't have to go into ICU because uh, when my condition was okay to me itself. So the doctor started to test me and says that oh, you can stopping, uh,
Mm,
you are fine.
mm,
But the other doctor start to do scanning, ultrasound scanning on my chest, and then that's whereby they say your patches start to grow,
mm,
and they say that it actually spreads to other places of your lungs itself. So
right.
that's when they say that I think we need to put you into ICU, and
Mm.
that was the second shock to me itself when they say that you're not going to put you into ICU.
What was
Uh,
going through your mind at that time? Were you thinking you're going to survive this? I'm going to ask this question. Do you actually think that you might go at that, like not going to see your family again? Did that thought
um,
cross you?
yes, it does. Okay, it's something that crosses me because 8 years ago I lost my father during the ICU itself,
Mm,
and I know some of them actually went to ICU to come out. I
mm,
mean, not all, but there are people who actually went in, and they stay inside for very long. So these are something that actually comes into my
Right.
mind. First thing, it was like, am I going to be like what my father is, and because when they start to say ventilator, I was imagining, the same scenario that my father actually lying down with the ventilator itself.
Mm.
And that actually makes me feel that, that's it. This could be the end of my life
Right.
on that point of time, when you go
Mm.
inside. So I actually tell the doctor, can I not go into ICU? And yeah, of course the answer is no. You have to go in.
Right.
And that was on a Wednesday.
Mm.
And after that, in the afternoon, when I go in, they actually put me to sleep. And Thursday morning, when I wake up, the tubes, everything is all on my body and my neck itself.
Oh. Mm.
Uh, and of course, my hands are being tied. So because they are concerned that I will start to pull the ventilator out from my throat and things like that itself. So when I wake up and open my eyes itself, I was like, okay, I got a ventilator.
Right.
And it's such a, I think the tube is like this big, this
I
thick,
cannot
something
imagine
like
this.
that. Yeah.
It sounds extremely
Oh
uncomfortable and
yes,
painful.
it is very very
Right.
uncomfortable. And with that itself, and then you have one actually going to the nose itself, and the worst part itself is
Right.
the one actually on the neck. This part of the neck itself, it's a sharp needle
Right.
pointing.
Yeah.
So these are three parts itself that constantly you feel the pain. And because
Right.
it's a Thursday morning, so I thought, okay, and they are testing, and the doctor came in and start saying that, okay, we'll do a scan again.
Mm.
And that time when they scan this out, they say, okay, the top part start to spread, and then it's like one whole long like a cloud, white color
Pack.
patches,
Right. Mm.
and that white color patches, yeah.
Mm.
So
So
after that itself, they tell me to rest,
right. So the thing is
and
the healing is you healing yourself right now because there's actually no vaccine to kill the virus until now. So is this you and your own
yes,
immune system at that moment fighting to live? That's how it is, isn't it?
yes, yes, yes,
So
and those
what was
drugs.
your will to live at that time? Were you determined that you're gonna go through this? You thought that,
Uh,
they're gonna fight this? What went through your mind?
I think the first thing when I see all these tubes going on itself, right? And because the fever is still running, I'm very very lost and I'm very dazed.
Right.
Uh, and and only in the later part that I understand. But during the time itself, there was a sense of something, some energy thing going on.
Mm.
Uh, and only to know later on to know that actually is one of the 八字
You checked your parts
friend
after. Yeah.
who studied. Oh yeah, and one of the friend that I met in 八字 itself.
Mm.
She's a 9 Earth 7 star, and
Right. A
she
good
can sense
healer.
something is wrong, and she's a healer itself,
Right.
and yeah. So this good friend of mine, Adeline, was actually
Mm.
sensing something is wrong, and she started to do Reiki healing, distant healing for me during that period of time itself, which I didn't know until in the later stage itself.
All right.
And because I have a group of friends in the
In the
Chiba Club itself,
swimming club, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, in the Chiba Club friends itself, and this group of friends itself actually sense something is wrong itself, and they have their own specialty in terms of one of them is energy adjustment person, and the other one is actually who knows about mantra, and people like Tommy, people like Debbie, who is actually doing a lot, behind, and Kim, who actually doing mantras, chanting. So and everyone is praying, which I really, really appreciate that on that. And
Mm.
but this sense of energy was there itself to push.
Mm.
While I was still very, very down because of the thought of the ICU.
Right.
And
Right.
and on Thursday night itself, it actually goes worse.
Right. Got
That's
worse.
the point. And yeah, it got really, really bad that the infection start to attack my chest, and my infection start to have on my they say the rib cage, the
Right.
soft bone between the rib cage itself, and the infection was there, and it was very painful. On top of that, you feel very breathless.
Mm.
Something
Right.
is wrong in the whole body. You feel extremely uncomfortable.
Right.
So so that night I totally did not sleep, and I
Mm.
was watching the clock. The only thing I can do is watching the clock, and flashes start coming into my mind.
Mm.
uh the flash of my friends, my colleagues, and families, all this, and what are things that I have done, what are things that I have not done, and who I feel that I should have done more, and things like that. All this start to come, and it's
Mm.
non-stop.
Mm. Right.
Because the chain reaction of this is it started to think that oh, what if it impact my friend, and what if it impact my friend's friend, and then my friend's family, and it's going to be a very big uh, infection, and the impact is going to be huge, and not just I suffer,
Yeah.
but
So many
everyone.
people. Right. So a lot of things went through your mind, and this is only the second day in ICU, right?
Yes, that's the second day in ICU, the second night in ICU actually.
Right. And when did the healing start? Did it happen on the third day or the fourth day? Because you say you were 5 days in ICU, right?
Yes, the healing starts on the third day itself.
On the third day, right?
The second night itself, which is the third day, which is Friday, the healing start to come in, start to set in itself.
Right.
And that point of time itself, when the doctor actually start to do the scan itself, the top part of the chest itself,
Mm.
it's about 50% of the infection gone. So when they see it, it's like a one black and one white area. So the
Mm.
black area are actually to correct the normal chest, and the white areas are the area whereby the infection is still there.
Right.
And they say that okay, it's improving, and they say that by Saturday, if it's improved better, we'll take you out from the tube itself.
Right.
So of course, with that, you hear that okay, it's improving, and Saturday you're going to take me out of the tube itself. You tend to feel that okay, there is a chance to live.
Right. So that,
And
but 3 days going through it, it must be like hell, sleeping there just looking at the clock.
actually, I didn't sleep, and because doctor coming in and out and start asking, Mr. Koh, are you okay? Actually, I mean, I cannot talk. Yes, that kind of thing.
Mm.
And the only way I can communicate to them is writing on a paper. So they start to give me a clipboard and a pen and a paper for me to write if let's say I have anything that I want to tell them. And
Wow. Mm.
yeah, and of course, during the point of time itself, my hands are quite tight to the bed.
Mm.
So I'm asking them, negotiate in a way that can you release the string a bit, but you still need to tight, but you got to release it, at least let me move my body a little bit. See.
Mm.
So yeah, I successfully negotiated, uh, and then they agreed to let me, to loosen it, and all the way till the stage whereby on the third day itself, they allow me to probably move my hand cross. So
Right.
in fact, I can even reach my tube if I want to. So, but they know that I would, because that is something that for us normally we wouldn't do.
Right.
And yeah,
So
so
this was
on the
5 days, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 5 days. So on Monday
yes,
you came out of the ICU, but you're still in hospital, right?
yes. So
Right.
on Saturday itself, they check, okay, the top part is clear.
Mm.
And they say, okay, since it's clear itself, right, the rest is actually hidden below, somewhere near the back of the rib cage area itself. They say it's okay. That one it will probably start to clear fast. Then they start to take out my tube.
Right.
Yeah, before they take my tube itself, I did a video call with my family. That was the only time I started to do video call with my family after so many days I did see them.
So your family must be really, 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 really scared and worried for the few days that you cannot contact them, right?
Yes, my wife called luckily my wife actually called the hospital itself,
Mm.
and every night she called the hospital, and every night the hospital will update my wife, okay, what's my condition and thing, and where am I now, okay, and am I recovering, or things like that itself. So
Right.
she got the updates only from hospital itself, and the only time when we start seeing each other is only on Saturday through a video call. And
Right.
because the tube is still with me itself, so I was like putting the
Really
video call,
thought.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's it's you
It's
can't talk itself.
can't imagine how
So
bad,
it's
how difficult it must be. All right. So and so how many days thereafter you come out of ICU did you still have to stay in the hospital?
another 4 more days.
Now 4 more days.
So
Then
all
only
in all, yeah,
mm,
all in all, then because during that point of time, there was starting to have a surge in terms of the cases itself.
right.
So they needed the bed and the isolation wards itself, and they say that okay, but of course they mentioned that you need to be tested negative first before they allow me to go. That's why they tested 3 times
Or
to
three
make sure
times.
that it's negative totally. Then
Mm,
3 times. One is on a Sunday, and then another one on the Tuesday, and the last one is actually on a Wednesday.
right. So
So by
when
Thursday itself,
but
they said that
right
okay,
now, right now is are you in now you don't have the virus already, of course you're clear of the virus, but how is your lungs right now? Are they recovered? Are you back to your full energy now, or you're still there's some problems that is left over?
at this moment itself, I would say the lungs recovery is about 80%.
Only 80%.
I can feel that yes, it's there's no 100% recovery on this. In fact, to me, itself 80% is really a blessing.
Right.
Why I say that? Because when I start to do my usual slow motion Tai Chi, I can sense that the breathing is not as good as previous times.
Right.
The lungs, the way the lungs can breathe in deep itself does not it's not the same as last time when you can breathe in very, probably before I got this itself.
Right.
And doctor does mention that it'll take a while to recover, and it's really depending on how you manage your lungs itself, and
Right. Did,
that
did
is
the
the
doctor
part
say that
that
people who have got the virus before that they're not going to get it again? Do you have an immunity
uh,
now, or there's no guarantee that you're not going to get it again?
there is no guarantee that you will not get it again. You may get it again on the recent studies, but prior before that, doctor did mention that you may have some little bit of antibodies itself, but it's not proven because the virus is very, very new. So
Mm,
nobody have any idea how this virus actually will work.
right.
And the only thing itself is that we need to prevent from getting it is to make sure that we got to keep ourselves hygiene, and all the necessary precautions got to be taken care of.
No. All
So
right.
when yeah.
So there's a question here. You obviously are a student of metaphysics and 八字 and Qi. At that time, did you check your own 八字 chart? Because now you check it, you can see the problem, right? But at that
Yes.
time, of course, I mean, if you're in the ICU, obviously you probably can't do anything. But prior to that, did you have a look at it or did you notice it?
Okay, I must confess on this. I did not check my chart prior before that.
Mm,
I actually thought that in fact I missed out on the part whereby they say monkey is one of the character
yeah.
that will be, and I have I did not even bother to check the chart itself because that point of time was quite tied up and busy, and
Very,
January yeah.
at that time, I
So
just show your chart up here. Yeah. So this is your chart on the screen right now. So you could see that clearly you have monkey, which is one of the signs which are supposed to be careful this year, and you have it right on the day, right? So, but at that time, never think about the possibility, right?
no,
Right.
never talk about the possibility itself.
Mm, mm. But on retrospect, good thing you have a fire element in your chart because your if you look at your chart from the 八字 perspective, your chart is metal and water is very cold, right? And if you look at your luck pillars right now, you can also see at 44, which is the big clash, heaven and earth clash. You can see that also, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Jia Yin, 44 years old, wood tiger. All right, if you look at the chart, right? Wood tiger, right? Where the red dot is for 44, right?
Yeah.
And this year metal red is also clashing with yang wood. So it's basically quite a serious clash in the chart, as you could see. And metal and water is a lung related issue. So, but thankfully, the chart here has fire element, and I suppose if there's no fire element, the recovery probably might take longer, right? So, on retrospect, of course, we could see this, but it's always a lot of people ask, right? Can you see it during the time? I mean, even if it was, myself, even if it's emergency, sometimes also wow, right? How to see all these things? See before shit happens before we can go. In a year, prevention is better than cure. So,
Yes.
that part we could see from the chart right now. Yeah, and also the three animal signs that are problematic for this year is the horse, the snake, and the monkey, right? So your chart has a pull in of a snake. We discussed this in the recent Rise program, not your chart though, but discussed the possibility. Because if you look at rooster and ox in your chart, which is the month and hour, it pulls in the snake. Because rooster, snake, ox is a combo, correct? And monkey combined with snake.
Yes.
And rat has a silent combination with snake. So because rat contains yin water and snake contains the yang earth, which is the main growth element of yang earth. So that's a hidden combo. So you actually have snake and monkey at the same time. Okay. So in the chart, so the question is, where have you contracted it? That is the issue, because the chart only indicates a potential issue. It doesn't say you guarantee must have this or problem. Okay. So largely it is possibly, did they trace it for you? Like, where could it possibly, which cluster did you get it from?
Up to now, they have not been able to find where. I'm classified as one of the unlinked cases.
Unlinked cases, huh? Right. So,
Yes.
but it's very, very fortunate that none of the people around you have this contracted it from you. That's really a
Yes,
blessing,
which is
right?
it's really a blessing in disguise, because during that period of time itself, I keep thinking about my family and my colleagues, especially my lunch kaki and coffee kakis and things like that. Keep sitting and having bread and coffee together. These are the people that I'm very, very worried itself.
Hmm.
So, but thankfully, after I discharged itself, when I call them, they are all fine.
Did they
And
go? Did they
everyone,
go to quarantine? Were all your friends and family quarantined at the time, or they just what do you call that? Self quarantine.
in fact, when I was contracted, so that is already on the 9 or 10 days. So what happened is that they were being asked to go home and work until the end of following week, till for another 4 days actually.
Right.
So during the period itself, they for 2 weeks, because they actually started counting 2 weeks from the day I contacted my fever, which is 1st of March. So they actually asked them to go back home, and then 14th of March itself is considered as 2 weeks, and then everyone is fine. So that's whereby they say, okay, there's no fever and nothing. So far, when I call them back and check with them constantly, they are all fine. Our families are all okay.
Right. So your case seems to have
So it's
defied
really a blessing.
almost all the usual symptoms, right? Like massive cough and all that. And those people say it's very easy to contract, and somehow in your case, you've been very fortunate. And then of course you also got we received a lot of healing energy along the way, and that sort of helped. So what would you say that looking back, what would you have done differently? Would you have looked at your own parts chart differently had you seen it this time?
Yes. In fact, if I were to done differently, I would probably would have to actually start to look at my parts chart every year, which I did that almost every year except for this year.
Except for this year.
And yes, and it's really and then I'm not sure why. But this year I really did not. But for the past few years, I have been looking at it, and there was a year whereby I was looking at it and says that in October or November I may actually injure my leg, and I did. But the injury was very minimal.
Right.
Because that was the point in November it actually supposed to crash, and then I may actually hurt my feet. So I'm quite cautious during that month itself. But I have
Right.
never and I miss out on this month and on this year itself. So
Yeah, but don't be too hard on yourself, because this is something that is unprecedented. So no one could have really, even if you got monkey in the chart, there's only what can you do to prevent? You wouldn't know how to prevent it anyway, because no one knows how to prevent it other than washing hands and keeping a distance, right? So you can't,
yes,
fault yourself for that. It's just that it's interesting that you do have the elements in the chart that we have described earlier in the year for illness, and that you just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Maybe got it from someone who doesn't have symptoms. I don't know what that word was, as a word for it.
asymptomatic.
Asymptomatic, yeah, that's the thing. So
Yeah,
they probably don't see it, and you were at that place
asymptomatic.
at
Yeah,
the right time, right? So, and you got it in a February month,
yeah.
right?
I guess so.
Yeah, Tiger month,
Yeah, in
right?
February month, yes.
Tiger month has to be Tiger month, because
So,
February is Tiger month. If you look at your chart 44, that is Jia Yin is Wood Tiger, and this is a heaven and earth clash with your day. If you look at your day, the day that you're
yes.
born, it's a metal monkey. It's heaven and earth clash. So this is a metal red year. So it also clashed with Yang Wood, and you're on a Tiger month, which is the tiger. So everything appeared on that time. Did you realize that?
Okay, now I know.
Right, but
Yes.
it's
Now I
everything.
know.
It appeared right now. Everything seems to have a fall into place, and possibly at that day, possibly it's either monkey day or a tiger day, and then you happen to be with somebody who has it, and that's probably why wrong place, wrong time lah.
Okay.
Right? If you look back at this, but here's
So if
some.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
so there's no way to prevent it actually, right?
I think it would be hard. I just look at it. If I was having a child, that I wouldn't know how to prevent it as well. I only know that it's a potential problem because that's what we describe in a public event. But we don't have enough information about the pandemic and about this virus, and that's why I asked you to come onto this talk today, is to share with all our community, how does it feel like, and at least we want to recognize some of the symptoms, because there's no record of this in the old books, right? Other than we know these few animal signs as a problem. That's all it is. You know, and a good thing is you at least have the Achievement Club members to send you some positive energy, and you felt it at the time, the second night and the third day onwards, which I think it's really helpful lah. If you just look at your chart,
Yes.
right, down to this
Yes.
side here. Right. I mean, here you could see this is your destiny printout. So this is your achievement destiny. All right. This is your achievement destiny. And in 2020, let's look at 2020. This is your 2020 chart. Let me just bring it out. See, you have zero. Look at this. Fire is zero. Yeah. Right? There's zero fire in your chart, which is quite dangerous. Yeah. And if you look at your 2020 chart here, it says 2020. Can you see 2020 in the chart where it says 2020?
Yeah.
On the northwest, you're on a death door,
Yes.
Okay. Can you see that? And
Yeah.
if you look at the year chart itself, northwest, that means your year's destiny chart, the shift, the 1 year chart. You also have the grain. Can you see northwest? The grain enters your 2020 chart. If you can see it up below and at the bottom, can you see that? 2020,
Yes.
death door, and northwest 2020, the whole year entering northwest is grain, which we all know is a health issue, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the good news.
Yes, it's a health issue.
But at least you see, if your chart, the heart is with you in your original destiny palace, which is northeast. So heart, we know in Chiman, is also represents good doctors and good healing.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yes.
So we could see that from the printout. Yeah. But it's good. It's a good you know, study. Is always, of course, hindsight is 2020, right? If you look at it, I don't think anyone could have just picked it up because we have seriously no reference to COVID-19 at all. You're probably the first reference that I can talk to in such detail about COVID-19, and it will be a good research material for me as well, so that we could use this to help other people in our own community, in our student community. And I will study your chart in detail, of course, and the information will be very helpful for future when students are studying things like COVID-19.
Yes, thanks, Joey. Because I think the important thing that I want to share is that apart from don't always assume that it will not hit you, and then even if you are ready, you wear your mask and things like that. It's something that it can actually hit you unknowingly, and by the time it really hits you itself, right? It's the impact is not just you alone. It will actually impact the families itself. It will actually impact your friends,
And that's
and
scary,
the
right?
spread. Yes, it's very scary because the scary part itself is that if you are alone and it hits you only, I think the pain is only within you. But when you know that it starts to spread and hit someone that you love, the guilt and the torment is within your mind is something that it's not easy to get out of it.
Yes. And
And that is the worst part of all, apart from physical suffering. I mean, a cut is a cut, a step is a step, but that's within you. But a pain in terms of a memory, a guilt itself, on your mind itself, it's not anything that you can just remove it, out of nowhere itself.
right. So you agree with
And I
your
really,
Singapore
yeah.
government right now extending the circuit breaker to June to make sure that they end this this virus and its effect.
Yes, I do. In fact, one of the main reasons why they did that is also because we still have people going out, and thinking that it will never do that. And I really want to appeal to everyone that whether you are in Singapore, whether you're in Malaysia, and whether you are globally, stay at home and please educate, or in fact just advocate to your friends or your family members itself. Stay at home. And
Yeah.
stay within your own confined area, and if you're sick, really sick, stay at home also, and then do not go out.
Isolate. Yeah, isolate yourself, right?
Yes.
That's good. Good. Thanks. Very good sharing. You want to pick some questions here that we have from the group right now?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's see here. So we have a question here. Given the second life, would you do differently now and before?
Yes, it has always been, and of course family has been my first priority, and I decided when I was thinking of changing job. But apparently at this moment itself, I don't think it's a good time to change job. But it's in my mind now that more or less I wanted to start to change job once this thing is over itself. So hopefully I can get something that I can do, and then spend more time with my family, my kids.
Right.
And
And
I think that the other thing is to help more people.
yeah, pass the message and help people, right? Do you consider yourself now 100% free from the virus and already immune?
Uh,
I think
I
definitely
had the
100%
thought
free from
when I
the
walk out
virus.
of the hospital.
Mm.
Yes, it's 100%. It would say recovered because the virus is no longer there. But the point is that whether will it actually trigger again? Unfortunately, the study says that it will. So initially when I discharged from hospital, I thought that I'm free, because the first message from the doctor was that, okay, your Ministry of Health says that you are free to go. You are free to walk around. I was like, oh, I'm free to walk around. Oh, yeah, why not? And I actually wanted to take a train back home, but later on, a friend of mine called me and says that, bro, I think you better, I'll drive you back. So a friend of mine, by name Joseph, actually says, okay, I'll come, let me drive you back. He's a Grab driver, but, he purposely came down and then he started, I think social responsibility, I'll drive you back. You don't run around.
Right.
So email, I don't think I don't think I'm immune, but
Yeah.
I would say that whether or not you're immune, important thing is that you still need to protect yourself,
You definitely don't want to get it back again,
because you do not
right?
know.
This is terrible, right?
Yes, correct.
Right.
I don't think you want to go through another ordeal of this.
Well, all right, so let's see here. It's interesting. I had a bad neighbor that makes things difficult for me during MCO. Hope this bad energy come from this neighbor will disappear. Well, unfortunately, sometimes this is the problem. I hope you go through this peacefully. All right.
I do have the same encounter, but I went up to my neighbors and tell them that, look, I just got COVID and recover. So can you all stop smoking? Because they smoke every
Oh,
night. And after, when they hear the word COVID itself, right, well, since then itself, they actually spoke less, but I didn't say they smoke, but in the middle of the night, they did not smoke anymore. And they kind of stay quite far away from me when they see me now. Last time used to be like, very close. I want to,
do people have a stigma at
but now
all?
when I hear of word COVID,
Right. Do at first,
uh,
even though you are 100% clear of this, 100% clear, but people might have that stigma right now. They might, oh, you have this. Do you feel that?
actually, no. In fact, to most of them itself, I mean, I'm very open to tell them that, look, I just recovered from COVID.
Hmm.
But I told them that, if MOH were to certify that I
Yeah,
got no problem, means I got no problem.
yeah, you have
Yeah.
no problem.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So that's why I was like telling them, and most of them are quite receptive on this as well. It says, oh, okay, anyway, you're being certified, that's why you can come out. And until only recently, about last week, then they start to hear about news about Korean. They have, the of cases that actually have it, recover, and got it back. So now I will not say too much, but a bit too late, because my face is in most of the newspapers as well, in local newspapers. Uh,
Right.
so I will still try to wear mask and go out, and then
I think you are
I will not say
inspiring
too
a
much.
lot of people. Look at how many thank you messages are coming in. So your story is going to help a lot of people. Understand this better and understand the need to actually stay safe. So, which is good. And you've done something positive tonight. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you.
So thank you, Raymond, for your time, and I hope speedy recovery, 100% recovery, and that I'll see you again once the circuit breaker and all that is over in Singapore, and obviously here in Malaysia. We'll meet again. All right. I
Yeah,
hope
I'm
this.
looking forward for your seminars
Okay. Well, thank you so
also.
much, and stay safe. Okay.
Thanks, Joey.
Stay.
Thank you.
Thank you, and good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Stay safe. Thank you. Good night.